Yo, back from vacation. Oh, it's been a relaxing journey, sort of, kind of, not so much really, to be honest. But, you know, you've never really made it as a real YouTuber. If there aren't false allegations made against you, that doesn't involve MrBeast, if it doesn't involve Keemstar, and if it doesn't involve getting canceled by association with people that some other people do not like. It's a pretty wild ride. I'm friends with a lot of gun tubers, so I don't know what I should have expected, but being that this is probably in the top 2 dramas I've ever been in, it goes up there to the S tier, hell yeah. Figured it's worth making a video covering it, clearing my name, and because there's just a lot of lies about me that I would like to squash, if possible. Also, Muta recorded a short clip that I'm gonna be including basically towards the end of the video to help corroborate some stuff I'm saying, but let's jump right into it, baby. Twitter tries to cancel Nux, episode 4 bajillion. Anyway, it all started a few days ago with this video. Kris Tyson just became a nightmare for MrBeast. So it turns out Kris Tyson, in the MrBeast crew, not exactly the holiest of peoples. I'm gonna give you like the ADHD 2-second recap because I'm sure all of you already know what's going on, but basically Kris Tyson was exposed for basically being a predator. And it ended up spiraling into something way worse. Apparently MrBeast probably knew about it. It's a very big, yucky, ugly situation, and it is only the stepping stool to where we are going today. Also, thank you so much for the sponsor of this video, MrBeast Burger, Special Kris Burger. The Chris's Kitty Dog is sponsoring. Oh, they discontinued the Chris's Kitty Dog. That's an unfortunate name. Yeah, no, video not sponsored. So, here is one alleged victim of Kris Tyson, okay? I don't want to get into all this shit because that's really not so much the point. Here is another alleged victim of Kris Tyson back when they were like 15 and Kris was, what, 19 or something? Here we got another alleged victim of Kris Tyson. This is when Lava, the victim, is 13 and Kris Tyson was an adult. Basically, not good. Lots of peoples came out, lots of arguments, and Kris Tyson is a monster. Thank God they are off the platform, or at least not actually banned by YouTube because of political favoritism, probably, but they are definitely not coming back. Ain't no way. MrBeast fired them. It's Jover. But what initially tipped people off and to start looking into this entire situation was the connection between Kris Tyson and Shadman. Now, I'm gonna have to give you some deep dive into the Shadman lore. And what better way to do that than to let the man, the myth, Mr. Moist talk about it himself, all right? This is the rundown on why Mr. Shadman is a monster.
But with Shadman, he wasn't drawing lolly, he was drawing real children sexually. So one of the most infamous cases was when he drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter in a pornographic setting. That actual fucking lunatic drew porn of an 8-year-old girl. That's not hearsay or anything, that is something that actually happened. And you know what's even crazier? I talked about this on stream. A lot of people supported him publicly. Like, a lot of people defended that. Back when Shadman dropped that revolting dog shit, there was a lot of people that were pumping their fists saying, "Go Shadman! It's Keemstar, who cares? Doesn't matter, he deserves it anyway. Shadman, do you take requests? Can you do this person's underage daughter next?" He received applause for drawing child porn. Let that shit marinate for a moment.
Yeah, that's completely insane. This is not my defense in any way here for anything at all. However, it is a little bit insane as to how much support Shadman got back in the day. So much support that I didn't even know he was a controversial figure until after my first interaction with the guy. But I will get down that path later. I have receipts for everything. Never fear. All is good. All right? So once it turns out what Shadman was doing, it turned out that Kris was fawning over drawn CP of Caillou. What the fuck? Begging Shadman to draw a 10-year-old anime girl. What the fuck? Being disappointed Shad didn't draw Beast Boy. And even more teasing with Shad. Basically, it seems like they had some kind of massive relationship. Kris was a very big fan of Shadman's hentai, if you could even call it that, because it's based on real people and it's pretty fucked up. Anyway, it gets wilder because not only did Kris like Shadman stuff, but Kris purchased Shadman art and has it on the wall in the living room. It's pretty messed up. Even look at MrBeast over here is like, what the fuck, looking at that shit. All right, anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is this is someone that liked his art, that supported him, that was friendly with him, that purchased his stuff and financially supported him. And then it turned out that, yes, the shock of all shocks, Kris was actually an alleged predator. So, after this all came out, in light of the Kris Tyson stuff, we thought it'd be interesting to track some of our favorite creators' interactions with Shadman over the years. Welcome to the mega thread. And then the Salem Witch Hunt Epstein list of YouTubers begins. Anyone that ever had an association with Shadman has been brought into the light. Now again, as I've mentioned earlier, for some reason, Shadman was like a liked dude in the community. It was like, oh, edgy shock humor, and it wasn't actually, I don't know why people somehow thought this wasn't messed up, and I was never, ever, ever in any sort of relationship with him, but I'm on the thread, and I'll show you why. It's gonna be awesome. All right, so here we got Sky Williams talking to Shadman. We got Dolan Dark having lots of conversations with Shadman. Elvis the Alien made an entire series based on Shadman's art. Ricky Berwick did lots of stuff with Shadman. Jessica Negri cosplayed Shadman people. I'm just gonna keep going forever. Basically, everyone communicated with the guy because apparently Shadman wasn't controversial or something back then. It's a little wild to even think about such a thing, but yeah. Senor Pello, I love that guy. well, that's rough now. Shoe on Head apparently was friendly with Shadman. God, it's crazy to even look at his list. It's wild. It's insane. Like, there's nothing to say. Bro, this is a lot of messages back and forth. Okay, so Belle Delphine cosplayed as Shadman, and Shadman also drew actual hentai comic shits about Belle Delphine at that time. I'm just kind of looking for me. There we go! The man. All right, so the Aki Dearest bought art from Shadman, whatever. It just doesn't stop. It literally doesn't stop. Bro, you even got the Epstein photo, the pyrocynical of Shadman. Oh my fucking God, it's crazy. And it seems Taku had private conversations with Shadman throughout 2021. Curious! 1.3 million views, 100,000 views, 100,000 views, 100,000 views, 100,000 views, 100,000 views. Well, why does mine... Oh, holy shit, they were going after Aki for this, goddamn. 200,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. The point that I'm trying to make here is, for some reason, I became the goddamn enemy numero uno when it comes to this freaking bullshit, trying to take me down for being some kind of pedophile because I had conversations with Shadman along the years. So let's see this damning clip that they have for me. So Shadman takes lolly shit to another level. So Shadman is a Nazi-ish, pedophile-ish fellow. Shadman didn't just draw lolly porn. Shadman drew lolly porn of real life people. Like, Keemstar's 10-year-old daughter got drawn by this guy in sexual art. And that is fucked up. That is insanely fucked up. Holy shit. Now, Keemstar is my best friend, which is why I'm extra mortified about all this. Oh God, I don't want to know how Kris was associated with this guy. All right, now they cut off here, which is interesting because if you continue the actual video where I talk about the Shadman shit, right? This is that same clip of me talking about Shadman. This is what I say next. You know what? I'll put this into the world. Here's reasons why I don't like Shadman. I feel like I need to quantify why I think Shadman is fucked up. Look at this DM he sent me. Okay? I don't share DMs, but so I made this video where I catfished predators on Discord. It was awful. But anyway, he's like, I don't like that. Like, he didn't like that I was catfishing predators on Discord. I thought this was one of the wildest, like, self-reports I've ever seen in my entire life. The point that I'm trying to make is, yes, I did get DM'd by Shadman every once in a while, back in the day, rarely. I would just wake up out of the blue and boom, I'd have a Shadman DM, and I would literally make fun of him for those DMs later. Here's a clip from my video in 2021. This one's really exposing me, guys. So, I was talking to Shadman. That's a weird, yeah. And,
that's a way to start a sentence.
That's our qualification. Talking means he DM'd me. Just mentioning. A way to start a sentence. And he has some interesting takes on Gardevoir.
He can keep them. I don't think I need to hear them.
Yeah, they're weird. Dude, at the time that I got the DM from Shadman, I did not know about the Keemstar's daughter thing. But again, that's not even my argument. Not even my argument, because this isn't even some sort of relationship. It's not like I had a relationship and because of the Keemstar daughter thing, I later decided not. No! Literally zero relationship. You get a DM from some guy on Twitter, and I made fun of him for it, as you're about to see. It was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. Like, through DMs. I didn't speak to him Oh,
voice.
I even said it in the clip that it was through DMs. I didn't even speak to him. All right. Cool.
But it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life.
I don't think you could have a normal conversation with a guy like Shadman.
Oh my lord, Shadman. Oh my god. I'm scrolling through the DMs. There are a few things that he said that were interesting. And he also says each word in like a different message.
Oh, he's one of those,
multiple text guys. Oh my god, Bernie. Sure, it's good, but games are just corny to me. So I'm not a gamer. I'm like Sans, because I spent 11 hours beating him on stream when I was younger. Point is, hereditary means passed down from generations. Genetical memory, instinct. You dig? Then why accident if you exist? You're not perfect, but you exist. Why call it an accident? Hentai is ugly to me.
this is like a fucking, like...
That's what he sent me. You don't understand. He sent me a DM. I make fun of the DM. People try to frame this as some kind of relationship, and therefore they're canceling me by association with this guy, which is wild and insane. To the point that when I made this tweet about Kris Tyson over here, saying they not like us, implying that Kris Tyson's a predator, you'll notice it has 2.8 million views of thousands of people calling me a predator. I know. It's crazy. Like, you can't even believe this shit. So anyway, I ended up quantifying this. I would have just done this in a video like I normally would. I wouldn't have actually talked about it on Twitter because Twitter is a cesspool that people will just take shit out of context and make fun of you for anything. Jesus could come back to life and people would cancel him for taking too long, all right? So I was on vacation, minding my own business, and I mentioned that Shadman DM'd me weird shit out of the blue. And I made fun of him for it many times in videos and on the podcast, as seen in the very clip that they share. I've never commissioned, promoted, been friends with him. I've never hidden that fact. Framing this as a relationship is disingenuous. And overall, the reception's okay, because anyone with a normal eyes in their head would look at this and be like, oh yeah, definitely. What the frick? He DMs Nux makes fun of those DMs, and people are trying to cancel him for it. Anyway, the Reddit detectives go kind of wild, kind of crazy on this shit. Keemstar especially went on this entire tirade, trying his very goddamn best to cancel and bully every single person that ever associated with Shadman off the internet. So here's the fun stuff. So Akeem said, YouTube drama is pushing all kinds of propaganda to shield themselves from criticism for censoring Kris Tyson's story, blah, 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 blah. Gator says, then why did you falsely defame people that went after Shadman, like Nux Taku, and insinuated they supported the disgusting thing he did to your family? You can't have it both ways. Guilty by association is a double-edged sword. You owe a lot of them an apology. So I just want to preface by saying, what happened to Keemstar's daughter, what Shadman did, is mind-boggling. It's awful. It's a nightmare. So I don't want anyone to send any hate to Keemstar over a video like this, clearing my name. I would just be using logical discussions to try to talk about why I am innocent and have never had any form of friendship with this piece of shit, Shadman. But don't send hate to Keemstar over this. Keemstar's daughter got drawn in a sexual way by this monster. If I was Keemstar, I don't know how I would react, okay? Guys, seriously, I have no hate towards Keemstar. I don't even mind that Keemstar tried to cancel me over this shit. So Keemstar says, keep that energy, and he posts these two. He actually retweeted his own tweet to go onto his main feed, but after I responded and completely destroyed him in response, he unretweeted it so people wouldn't see and just remember me as the guy that was associated with Shadman, but not actually let anyone see my response because ethics. So anyway, Nux Taku states that Shadman interacted with him out of the blue and nothing more, but a screenshot was found in a deleted conversation where Nux asked Shadman to collab. Also, Nux used a censored picture of Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark, played by a child actor of Game of Thrones, for a thumbnail. This is all wrong. Okay, so we'll just do this one first. So I did use Shadman art in a thumbnail once. I made a video talked about fucking awful Game of Thrones, cursed Game of Thrones memes. One of the cursed Game of Thrones memes that popped up when I looked up fucking cursed Game of Thrones fucked up shit on Google Images was a Shadman art, and I didn't even know it was a Shadman art when I used it. I got comments saying I recognized the Shadman art, etc., etc., and I changed the art, not last week to avoid drama, not yesterday so I could have a Zynga response video and make an apology. No apologies. I changed the art 2 to 3 years ago. I don't know how you could look up that this is a fact, but you'll notice any screenshots of that video that you find with the actual Shadman art is like 15 minutes after the video was posted. You're not gonna find any from later than that because I changed it right when I figured out it was Shadman. This is the craziest fucking shit in the universe. But the idea that this is something cancel-worthy is mind-boggling. I literally changed the art right when I found out 2 to 3 years ago. Anyway, also, to make things worse, they say that I used a picture from Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark played by a child actress for Game of Thrones. Lies! It wasn't even Arya Stark. It was the freaking you know nothing Jon Snow girl. It was her. It was not Arya Stark. These people literally will go crazy out of every possible way. This is not an underage actress. This actress is a adult. Get the frick out of here with your goddamn lies, stupid Reddit being peddled by Keemstar to everyone. And the thumbnail's removed. So why is everyone's obviously gonna believe this? Oh yes, of course, Nux used a censored picture of Shadman's porn comic of Arya Stark. Yeah, obviously. Not that I know, because the thumbnail was fucking removed 3 years ago, but yeah, I believe it. Anyway, it gets wilder, so I do respond to Keem. I say, I'm so sorry you had to go through all this, and I legitimately am. I'm so sorry that Keem had to suffer at the hands of this monster for so long. You have every right to be furious with the people that supported Shadman. I was never one of those people. Literally, you got the freaking mega thread of people with genuine interactions that supported him, that took pictures with him, that collabed with him, that tried to get his website back up. I was never one of those. The thumbnail was on a video about fucked up Game of Thrones memes and was changed 2-3 years ago when I realized who drew it. The second big exposed one for me, apparently, this is gonna be fun. I like this one a lot. Someone tags me, probably this guy, I don't remember what this was about. Shadman says, a bit too middle school. I say, want a collab? He says, Lamau, no, but your heart's in the right place. I say, understandable, have a nice day. I'm here when you come around. Yeah, people are making this as some sort of, I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become friends with Shadman, this monster. Which is fucking stupid if you know my content at all. I troll, confront people when I collab the same way you do, talking to Keemstar, on LOLcow, and if you watch my videos, you know that. I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reasons. I hope the Shad trauma goes away somehow. No one deserves what he put you through. And I'm not saying this to dog on Keemstar right now, okay? This is not to dog on Keemstar at all. But first, I am going to prove the point of my troll confront people shtick, okay? So let me pull up my original tweet where I covered this, because I did, in fact, mention this over here. So I say, people saying I'm a liar because of these tweets. Aside from not knowing the extent of his shit then, meaning I didn't know about the Keemstar daughter shit, I'd collab with all kinds of scum. Most of my collabs are trolling, and I was gonna grill him. I'd interview EDP. I've never commissioned, promoted, been friends with him. And then I say I'll probably talk about this more when I come back from vacation. So, Lyrics, commentary YouTuber fellow, says, good faith question, hoping you could clarify. This is huge, because most questions, not at all good faith. So you didn't know the extent of his shit then, but you were going to grill him at the same time. If you did get that collab, what would you grill Shad on? From what I remember, he was known as the guy who drew minors sexually. You didn't know that? The rare good faith question. I knew about the lolly stuff and some of his art, like the bestiality with fictional children, etc. Definitely enough to grill the guy. Holy shit, there is so much more. There is so much more than just that. That is the worst, and that would have been the hard cutoff for me to not even respond to the guy, probably. But I legitimately was gonna grill the guy. If you've seen my collabs, I didn't know about Keemstar's daughter, although that's the less important part of my tweet. Collabs are not promotions or condonement in any way on my channel. Appreciate the reply. If you have a history of doing many collabs for the sole purpose of trolling them, I think this is fair. Not gonna lie, when saying I was asking for a collab as a troll, it looks kind of bad. If that's what you've done before, it's believable. Well, this over here is a collab where I collabed with Kagi Films, a voice actor, and it was purely for I told him that we were going to get into a call and I was going to show him some terrible anime dubs, and him, as a voice actor, he would review the anime dubs. I trolled him because the terrible dubs that I showed him were his own! It was his voice acting work in anime, and I made him sit through his worst performances of all time and shit. And then bro was ashamed. Here is a video where I collabed with Daily Dose of Internet. I told him I'd be showing him funny anime scenes, but it turns out, you know how he does, hey guys, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. Today, I'm gonna be looking at a cat in a tree. I narrated freaking garbage anime moments with the Daily Dose of Internet voice, and I showed him a Daily Dose in anime video, literally making fun of his cadence and the way he frames shit. Here is a video where I show terrible anime adaptations to Netflix's One Piece producer. This guy over here, he is the One Piece live-action Netflix showrunner producer guy, and he was making a live-action show. This is before One Piece came out. I collabed with this guy, and I told him, of course, I'd be showing him, you know, cringe anime clips and to make him laugh and stuff. But it turns out I was showing him terrible anime adaptations. Every bad anime adaptation I could find. I showed him the Cowboy Bebop cringe, and I showed him this from Dragon Ball Evolution, all right? I showed him all these terrible anime adaptations purely for the sole purpose of telling him that I don't think his adaptation of One Piece will succeed. Yes, this was a massive troll. It was all for me to give him, for an hour grilling him on why I think his One Piece live adaptation will fail. I was wrong. The One Piece live action was actually kind of great, not gonna lie. But again, not the point. It was a collab purely for the purpose of trolling. All right, it's a Gundam. He is a guy that made a lot of videos talking about how he doesn't like how strong women are depicted in Western media. So I brought him in to show him an edgy anime. I showed him Redo of Healer, where this guy literally fucking destroys a bunch of really sad women in really edgy, disgusting ways to show him that, well, see, anime's problem solved. It was literally for the purpose of trolling him. Here is a video of Rule 34 Jeopardy. It's basically a Pokemon Jeopardy game where I would ask them all questions, they would all give answers, and then I would take all of their answers and all of the words that they said in their answers, and they were the lyrics of this really cringe Furrymon Pokemon song that I would vocode together at the very end to have them sing the song.
Come on.
Prefer to feel like
Slaves.
I left my home.
I
Tried to
pass
right through
the
all
law poly.
fast.
Yes, purposefully trolling purely for the goal of trolling. That was literally the point. They all thought they were doing a Pokemon Jeopardy game. It turns out they were not. They were singing the lyrics of this really cursed freaking Furrymon Pokemon song. So, dude, I'm sorry I'm giving many examples. I can give you another 20 examples, but this was literally my content at the time. My content at the time was bringing people into calls to essentially troll them. All right, for lack of better terms. Probably my favorite example of a super obvious troll that I did at some point. So it was started with this video. It all began with this YouTuber, Deji. Deji was exposed by this guy, Kavos, for basically subbotting and shit like that. And Deji's big response to all that was, well, you see, I have a dumb high IQ. My IQ is 189. It's a 189 IQ. I wouldn't do something so stupid.
If Kavos can confirm to me with 100% certainty that you in fact scored with an IQ 95 or above, half of 189 or higher, $1,000 of my money to any charity of your choice. And if you get below 95, I think it'll be just, you know, it's completely unlikely that that'll happen, let's be honest.
So first I make a video making fun of him, then I troll him on stream for it over here, and I actually got swatted while I was doing that stream. That was very stressful.
Shout out to Billy.
Shout out to Billy! You heard it from Deji himself, boys.
Bro, this is probably the top tier comedy cringe stream that I'd expect from a man with almost 10 million subscribers. Bro, this is the stream of a man with a dumb high IQ of 189.
And then I eventually got him into a collab with me right over here, where I showed cursed anime clips to the smartest man alive, literally making fun of him the entire time. I don't know if you could see with my avatar in the way. Right here. This video over here, making fun of him the entire time for his dumb high IQ and shit like that, making him voice dub anime clips.
Please let me help you train. I would be happy if you thought of me as a punching bag. Please make me happy.
It truly is the year of the simp, what could I say?
And then the best part of it all, bammo, right here, KSI reacted to me. I ended up taking the clips of him doing the incredibly cringe voice acting stuff. I put it on KSI's Reddit and I got him to react it to humiliate this man for his dumb high IQ. I don't know, it's all trolling. Most of my videos are not super confrontational in nature, to be fair, even though they are done with 100% trolling in mind. My confrontational things are with more controversial people, I guess shine more on the podcast. I definitely did not give it easy to Boogie when he was on our podcast, confronted the hell out of that man. Same with Keemstar multiple times. I think that's pretty freaking relevant. Over the last hour, you've told us you sucked so many times. You have told us all
I
of
suck.
Your issues,
I'm gonna keep saying that. I'll never stop saying that.
You've told us your obesity problems. You've told us literally every way you firebombed your own life.
God, I really tried not to do that.
But you did anyway.
Too, but I did, yeah.
The point, you do it every time I see you on a podcast or a talk show, you end up going there. You got to get your headspace out of there. And I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of faith. But with this in mind, I don't know how you can't say in good faith that yes, I definitely didn't want to troll Shadman when I originally asked about the collab, which by the way was done before I even knew about the Keemstar's daughter thing. And even if you want to say that I am lying about everything you have seen thus far in this video, I lied about my relationship, I lied about the collab idea, and I lied about the thumbnail, which I changed 3+ years ago. Holy Poopenhagen, I'm not a pedophile. It goes without saying. Also, I didn't lie about anything. Lyrics, actual good faith questions, hell yeah. And then you got this guy here, the worst faith question I've ever seen. So what were you gonna show Shadman? The youngest characters in hentai and it's all his own work? What's the angle there? How on earth is that the takeaway here? The point is, I troll people in collabs. I was gonna troll him in collabs. I don't know. Maybe I was gonna show him shit to make him say the lyrics to some song calling himself a pedophile or something. I don't know what it was gonna be. It never ended up happening. Obviously, that's not what I was gonna do. Anyway, what's even wilder is when you look at this guy's past history and it's just me. It's just me. Taku out of the house, smoking that pack. More me. Oh, yes. Lots of Nuxanor. We love to see it. Lucky for me, most of the people I ended up collabing with and trolling over the days were people I did actually like. Shadman, not so much. I don't know why anyone would assume that I would do a Shadman video, possibly as some sort of promotion work and not to grill the guy. All that said, I do want to apologize though for not researching the fucker thoroughly enough before asking him to collab. I should have been better and I will be better in the future. He drew porn of an actual child and no amount of memeing and trolling makes it okay to associate with an actual monster like Shadman. Now, Keem has continued this witch hunt, saying Ricky Berwick is the only creator on the Shadman Epstein list that reached out and apologized. Kris Tyson still hasn't. And again, I don't want this to be any hate towards Keem in any way, okay? Again, he is the father of a girl who got drawn sexually by Shadman. If I was him, I don't know how I would react. I would also probably be out for blood, okay? Again, no hate to Keemstar. This man is justified in his fucking everybody up. However, in order for pure defense, after bullying a bunch of people off Twitter, it's been come to be known that Keemstar invited Belle Delphine to parties. All right, Happy Punch and Belle Delphine, let's go. Keem and Belle Delphine at the parties, let's go. Yesterday, Belle Delphine posted sexual pics of a role. Many asked if I called her out on it, and you know, they were homies and stuff. So Pimpmaster Broda over here says, why does anyone on the list have to apologize? Did you make Belle Delphine apologize for literally being friends with Shad when you invited her to a Happy Punch event last year? Or is your interest in girls that tickle your fetishes overriding your logic? Now again, Belle Delphine was friends with Shadman. I was never friends with Shadman. We are not in the same boat, okay? I didn't even know the guy. Literally did not know him. Did not know the extent of his crimes. Did not promote him. Did not pay him. Did not commission him. Did not work with him. Even if you don't want to take my explanation for what my collab was gonna be with Shadman in good faith, if you don't want to take that seriously and you still think I'm lying, I still did not collab with him and we were never friends. Also, I'm not lying, as I proved. I did lots of videos to fucking troll people. But anyway, after bringing up to Keem why he didn't expect a Belle Delphine apology, Keem's response was, actually, I had no idea that Belle Delphine had any involvement with the cartoon CP artist because I don't follow her content. So yeah, she definitely owes me an apology. But I do remember you supporting the CP artist! Get on the cancel train, baby! You didn't know that Belle Delphine was remotely related to Shadman. In my opinion, is probably cap. But I am willing to take the benefit of the doubt. There's no evidence either way, innocent until proven guilty. I am willing to take the benefit of the doubt and assume that you really did not know. Even though Belle Delphine cosplayed Shadman a lot, all the time. They were collabing together. They cross-promoted. Shadman had entire series of hentai comics with Belle Delphine as the main character of those hentai series, and every single one of them went mega viral over the years. I don't know how anyone could possibly not know. They were like both peak degenerates on the internet at that time, constantly cross-promoting. But again, you say you did not know, and I will take your word for it, I suppose. I don't know why you won't take my word for it when I say I didn't know that your daughter was sexualized by fucking Shadman back when I didn't even associate with him, but back when I got DM'd by the guy, because apparently you get DM'd by Dr. Disrespect and you become a pedophile, get DM'd by Kris Tyson, and holy shit, you're probably a predator now. But to keep the guilt by association train going, here, Lol Cow Live is a podcast that is run by Keemstar and features a bunch of people like Boogie2988 and some people. They have had pedophiles, actual pedophiles on their podcast. They claim it is just to confront the guy, which my videos are trolling / confronting people, okay? He still did farm super chats and made lots of money off this pedophile, but I don't think that's a problem. They confronted the guy. Who freaking cares? But what I think is even worse is the fact that the co-host, Boogie2988 of this podcast, not only defrauded his audience by making believe he was broke, not only defrauded his audience by making believe he had cancer, but also scammed his audience with an actual pump and dump crypto scam. Again, you could look this up. This is not the point of the video right now. The point that I'm trying to make is Boogie not only is someone that did a crypto scam, but he promoted the crypto scam on your podcast to your audience. That is so much worse of a guilt by association than having been DM'd by a guy 3 years ago. But again, I do not want any hate to be sent to Keemstar. I do not know what Keemstar is going through. As I've mentioned here, I think I even said it, yeah, 100% everyone thinks Shad is scum. Getting your revenge on him, on everyone else, isn't the way. To be honest, I'm hesitant to be too hard on Keem for this. I can't imagine how I'd act if someone did what Shad did to my kid. Guys, do not send hate to Keemstar. I personally, even though Keem was on the cancel Nux train, I have zero hate in my heart towards this man over this specifically. Personally, I can't even imagine the mindset he's in, especially over the Shad thing. Anyway, this story continued to spiral out of control because I see this video on my feed, Nux Taku kicked from Some Ordinary Podcast, absolutely not because of Shadman. And this is a whole train of worms. That's not a real expression, but goddamn, crazy situation to learn about getting fired from my podcast from some guy's video. To be clear, this is just false information. I was not fired from my podcast. And I'm gonna have a clip of Mutahar playing in a minute that he sent me for this video to clarify. So I will play that in just a moment. In this video, Muta is in a call with ChudLogic, streamer guy. I actually like a lot of his coverage of a lot of different stuff. So this kind of blindsided me a little bit. And here is the clip that everyone is going wild over.
Podcast is done, yeah. Podcast is done now.
Yeah, so this is coming off the heels of the Shadman discussion. So it really does look like, yeah, Shadman stuff happens, Nux caught in the crossfire, podcast done. Realistically, podcast being done is for completely other reasons, and it is a total coincidence that it's happening at the same time as the Shadman stuff. Again, I don't expect people to believe me because people are taking everything I say out of context in the ugliest possible of ways. So I will definitely let Muta doing the talking for me. Like he says over here, nothing to do with our relationship with Nux. Literally nothing to do with it, by the way. But anyway, let's see the rest of the clip because it is pretty damning. I'm not gonna lie. I think Muta definitely misspoke a little bit here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the podcast is over. We are not filming the last episode. It's over.
Yep. Podcast.
Is that are you serious?
Yep.
Yeah, we're not doing the podcast anymore. It's done.
Why?
We're supposed to film on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple reasons for it. A lot of that was obviously some of the Shad stuff too, because we were kind of sitting there. We're like, me and Caleb, we were just like, this is, I don't know, it's weird. The other thing was weird.
There's so much I wish I could say. But I promised I would not say it yet. We gotta wait. Frick, I don't want to say anything and throw anyone else under any buses here with why the podcast is stopping the way it is. The point is, it's literally all for behind the scenes restructuring. It has nothing to do with me and my association with Shadman at all. Zero. In fact, it's the least to do with me out of the three of us as to why this podcast is stopping right now. It's going on hiatus. Hopefully we will pick up something. We do have an epic project plan potentially in the works, which again, not exactly the place to shout out future ventures and stuff, but yeah, nothing to do with me. And Muta even says, for context, your podcast is ending for a lot of behind-the-scenes restructuring at the moment. Nothing to do with me. It's purely business and behind-the-scenes shit. I will provide more details about this matter as it unfolds, because you obviously do not have the full story in this clip. And then he says, and nothing to do with our relationship to Nux. Which is, again, yeah, he clarified. It has nothing to do with anything. Of course, it didn't stop this video from still coming out. Nux Taku kicked from the Some Ordinary Podcast, not because of Shadman, with the greatest selective hearing of all time, but it literally does have nothing to do with Shadman.
Hey everybody, Muta here, and I just wanted to make it as clear as possible. This podcast is not over because of Nux and his situation currently. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple days ago at this point, I was on a podcast, or not a podcast, but I was on a live stream with a creator known as ChudLogic. And I wasn't exactly clear as to the ending of the podcast, which really is an ending. Let me be more clear with you. The timing of this is actually purely coincidental, like you see on all those disclaimers for any movie or television show you're watching or video game that you're playing. No, in reality, what actually happened is me and Caleb, we have our own kind of thing over here that, ultimately behind the scenes, the podcast and rather the ownership of it and the structure of it is something that we're actually working on again. I actually went out and flew out about a week and a half ago with Caleb, and we filmed a lot of IRL stuff, and we kind of had our own sort of idea as to what the podcast should really be. If you haven't noticed, the weekly podcast, some of the episodes might have been a little bit phoned in. There was a lot of rambling, so me and Caleb and Nux have basically decided that it's better to restructure the podcast, basically have ownership ourselves, and to the point of actually making a set, so we do more IRL stuff. So a lot of it is really set on, building a set. I'm flying down to Texas more often, hopefully down the road, to be filming IRL and doing the podcast with Caleb, more so like you would see with typical like IRL style podcasts where you can actually do the hosts on camera sitting next to each other, and one where we don't necessarily even need to have a guest like every week, try to figure out how to get Nux on the entire show, being the fact that he lives in an NFT land and an NFT world, so to get him onto the actual podcast is another challenge itself. So it's really something where we're taking some time to stop the podcast, restructure, and possibly rebrand it and get the ownership directly under all three of us, which is something we didn't necessarily have with the Some Ordinary podcast. So I hope that clears things up. The timing was purely coincidental, and obviously I would love to work with Nux and Caleb again and get this podcast more structured in a way that we really want to push out, especially with the quality that we imagine and, just the style that we want to bring. So hopefully that cleared things up, and I'm going to leave it right back to my friend Nux.
But anyway, the point is, people going crazy in the quote retweets back on my original tweet when I said they not like us in regards to Kris Tyson, stuff like this, with 43,000 likes, basically calling me a pedophile for no reason. Nux, you are a lolicon defender, which is ironic because I was literally in drama like a year and a half ago because I do not like lolly porn. And then the anime community came for me because I do not like lolly porn. Which is, it's kind of ironic. I literally got canceled from both sides of the aisle on this one. Imagine getting canceled for not liking lolly porn and then getting canceled, not that I like lolly porn, but because they think I like lolly porn because I got DM'd by Shadman one time in the past. It's pretty crazy. So anyway, a lot of people are telling me to delete this tweet. As you can see, this tweet has 1,900 likes and 2.8 million views, getting ratio to oblivion on Twitter. Everyone and their mother calling me a pedophile and shit. And I don't want to delete this tweet. I really would prefer it stay up here, kind of as a testament to the fact that this all went down. The fact that the internet literally turned my life over completely upside down, especially with the Shadman stuff, trying to find any semblance of criminal activity that I've done, and literally not found any. None. Zero. Like, oh my God. It's kind of crazy. Not trying to tempt fate or anything here, but I legitimately have never inappropriately messaged a minor in my life. So there's nothing to find. Ava Kris Tyson did inappropriately message minors, which is why they found shit. Anyway, this has been my long-winded drama response video. The world went after me while I was on vacation, and it's been fun. It's been fun. I spoke to Caleb and Muta. We're all still homies. We're planning something hopefully big. It'll probably take a little while until that kicks off, but for now, I do appreciate all your support. For the most part, the comments on YouTube have been relatively pretty awesome, not gonna lie, and supportive and shit. A lot of people DMing me, asking me if I'm okay. God, I feel like I got 1% of the amount of hate my way right now than someone like Quite did during his false allegations, which were way worse, and I can't even imagine what these people went through. But again, the point that I'm trying to make is I literally didn't do anything in this situation. Yeah, bye.